What's the best place to start building a tube chassis? Well, with a plan. Since I showed you the CAD model, had to create a cut list, so we have our stock, our length, and how many tubes that we're going to need, and every single piece, every single bit of scrap, every component. Of course, drawings, so we got to put the nice little bit of information here. Step-by-step instructions for each piece. We got a lot of tube cutting to do. Lots of tube cutting. This chop saw table is one of my best friends here at the shop. And I just got leveling this thing out after the last 3 years, and boom, that is nice and straight. Time to chop chop. Well, I've got 4 tubes cut now. I've got 2 of the slider pieces, and I have 2 of the main frame sections. So before I get too carried away cutting tube, I want to test out some bends because, well, I'm excited to get this thing going, right? So I have my handy dandy drawings. I'm going to start marking up these tubes. If you're wondering what all these tubes are, these are the bed bars we have available on the website at heavymetaloffroad.com. You can pick your vehicle there. Anyway, I'm going to mark my tubes and we're going to start bending. Now I've done a preliminary bend. The first bend called for 60 degrees, so I set it to 65 on the bender. But because I don't bend 188 wall tube very often, I want to do a check to see what the actual bend outcome is. And I have a little chart I'm going to fill out, so in the future I have a reference to what my offset is from my desired bend versus what I actually get. Okay, we're going to zero this out. Now let's check the bend angle over here. So I set it to 65. Hoping I'd get pretty close to 60. However, we're at like 54, 53.9. So looks like we need to put it in the bender again and get another try going. Trying again. Double check our zero. So this time I've set it to 70 and I'm getting 59.2-ish. Try it again. So I bent it an extra 0.7 degrees on the bender, but it didn't really change much here. But that's okay, I'm not gonna bend it again. I'm gonna grab another tube and bend it one time to see what we get. Okay, got the second tube here. We bent it in one shot. Checking our zero. Now let's see what our actual angle is. 59.87. I said it's pretty damn close to 60. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because 1, I don't bend the tube too often. 2, I don't have a chart of reference bends and outcomes, settings to outcomes to reference from. So I'd rather be testing this on the smaller pieces. Well, I mean, come on, this tube is not cheap, right? 1 3/4, 3/16 wall. I mean, you're paying, I don't know, $15 a foot for this stuff. So at least in early 2024. So I'd rather get that out of the way. Different bends, because when we bend the long pieces that are 165 inches long that have 4 bends in them, we want to get it right. And now we have our first 2 bent formed tube pieces for the Crimson Cannon chassis. These are the sliders. You can see here. They are pretty dead nuts accurate. And they're nice and flat. They're all in plane and sexy. Now I don't have too many different angles to bend on this chassis. I have some more 60 degrees. I have a 135 degree, a 90, a 65, 25, another 60, a 50, 26 and a half, another 90. So I have, well, half of these figured out. Some of these are really close. And so what I'll do is, look at this. This one here's a compound bend. This one here, there's multi-axis bends here. I'm going to start with something like this here, where I can just bend it as many degrees, 10, 20 degree increments as I want, and it'll just keep going. That'll be a great practice to make sure I have everything dialed in. For this one, like the A-pillar, goes over, front, down, all this fun stuff. So that's the plan, and I'm going to keep working at it. So I will provide you with another update another day. Catch you later.